Hello, welcome to Home Designs by Amanda. Today I'm going to do some Bible journaling with you. I've been wanting to do some and I just been kind of putting it off. And I had like a bunch of different ones marked that I wanted to do, and this wasn't even one of them. But with it being the Christmas season, I wanted to do one kind of on the Christmassy side. And I am really wanting to do what are they called? Tip-ins, I believe is what they're called. And I have one that I think I want to do in a different section, but I'm thinking about doing one here as well, where it would be like a two-layer scene for the beginning of Matthew. It'll be Christmassy, and in the background I'm thinking, you know, of using my Night in Bethlehem stamp set. So you have like Bethlehem, and I have this new set from the Occasions catalog. It'll be available January 3rd, 2018, but I thought I just got it tonight, so I thought I could use it for some of the background, like mountain stuff, and then for the palm trees. So I'm thinking I might use those two sets to make like a background picture, and then on the tip-in I want to do some floral type stuff and write the verse. And the verse I believe is going to be, "And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus, for he shall save his people from their sins." And I may, if that doesn't seem like enough, I might include verse 23 as well, of Matthew 1. But so those are my thoughts. For the front tip-in with just the verse on it, I'm thinking about going with this. This is the Christmas card, one of my ones I've liking making this year. I might do that kind of around it, and then behind it you'd see the nativity set there, and you have the verse over it. So I'm thinking that's what we're gonna go ahead and do. It'll probably be more of a listen to some Christmas music while you watch what I'm doing. I don't know if there's a whole lot I need to explain. It's just kind of stamping some stuff and putting this in. This might take a little while, because what I might do is go ahead and do some of the stamping so it has a chance to sit and dry a little bit. Although if I go ahead and do the gold on it, I will have to heat emboss it anyway, so maybe I won't need to do that ahead. I do have plans to do some blends on a piece of this. This is just tracing paper. You can use vellum pretty much the same way. I want to do some blends on here, and I want to do a video on that this coming week, and I want to do that in here as well, just so that I can do some coloring with my blends in my Bible, because they're going to go through. There's no way I can use them on this paper. They're going to just bleed right through and make a super mess. So they do work on a piece of tracing paper, and so I'm excited about doing that for you. But for tonight, we're going to just do some stamping, okay? Take a moment and pause real quick here, and these new pine trees, or not pine trees, palm trees from the waterfront. Oh, they're so cute. I love them. But I wouldn't say palm trees are like my favorite plant, but they're up there. And these are just so cute. And I'm thinking that I'm going to get out the grass from one of my other stamp sets. I'm not sure. Let's see what we have here. I don't have any grass in any of my new stamp sets, but how about this one? This would be a good one. The grass out of the high tide, right around those palm trees, and palm trees with this is going to be great. So if you have this, or if you don't have this, this is in the annual catalog. So that one will be a good one to mix with the waterfront one. And we're going to do that right now with some of the grass around these palm trees. Okay, so I'm going to pause again right here, and you'll notice that I put something hard behind me. So when I have the red rubber cling stamps on here, there's almost too much give in the Bible behind it. So I'm getting like the bumpies and not as nice of an impression. It works well to have that cushion with the photopolymer, but for the red rubber ones, I wanted something hard. And so this is actually for the big kick, or the big shot. It's a hard plate for when you're trying to emboss, and there's a squishy plate that goes with it as well. I just grabbed that because it doesn't have any cuts on it or anything, so it's a nice hard, and it fits in here well. I don't even know. I got mine off of Amazon. We don't carry it in the catalogs at all. And I don't remember what it's for. I just know it's for embossing. But you could use something else that's hard. Like a clipboard would work for behind there too. This was just close and I grabbed it. And then if you do, you might not notice it so much because of where my, see, and I still got it on there. I still messed that up. So I have a mono eraser, sand eraser, but I haven't found it to work the greatest yet. Let's see if I can get some of this off of here. It's not working like I expected it to. Yeah, it's like not even taking anything off. So I don't know if that's even worth it or not. I mean, it was cheap, so that's okay, but that wasn't the point. I mean, they're recommended to get ink off, and I'm not getting anywhere with it, but I guess we'll see. So these are supposed to be mountains back here. They could kind of look like clouds too, so we can go either way. However, I don't mind them looking like clouds or mountains. Oh, I forgot to stamp that one off. So I stamp off most of the time. I didn't on one section here because they seemed light enough as it was. But they are still coming through a little bit. You can see where I didn't stamp off and where I did, because the ones that I did stamp off are not coming through like that. But it's coming together. I like it. I want to put a shepherd or two down here, and then we're going to work on the tip-in. And for that, I'm going to put the flowers around the edges and the verse in the middle, but I also think that I'm going to go ahead and put Mary and Joseph like over here. So I'm going to keep working on this, okay? Okay, so I'm going to get ready and work on the tip-in. I think I want to do a lighter, my gray is like too light. I have a smoky slate gray, and I either need to ring ink it or it's just really light. I think it tends to be on the lighter side, but it's too light for what I want on here. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to just take basic black, ink it up good, and then do like a 4th generation on here so that it's light, but not as light as with the smoky slate, because like the smoky slate's back here and you can barely see it. So I'm gonna just do that. Looks like it's inked up well. Do 1, 2, I think I want the 3rd one on here. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it down in this corner. And I'm gonna come over just slightly, because I think what I might do as well with the edge is this. Since this is what I'm going off of, I'm thinking about putting that gold washi tape along the edge there. That's good. I like that coloring. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and And then I'm going to go through and put my poinsettias on with this. This is a celebration from last year and 2017. 2018 celebration is coming up, so it seems like last year's celebration. This was one of those stamp sets, and I've used it quite a bit. I still like it. I don't know if we have anything similar to it or not, but I'm sure you can find something to make a poinsettia out of. I had used another one for a different stamp set for a different poinsettia, and I don't remember what it was now. But I'm going to go ahead and do those in Real Red. So I'm getting a few smudgies here and there because it's not dry. I'm still trying to work on it and it's not drying. So I have a smudgy there and a smudgy there. I don't think it'll be that big of a deal. What I think I might do is go ahead and try drying it out. It's starting to be crinkly, but or maybe I'll just let it sit and come back to it later and work on something else for a little while, and just let it dry on its own. Because you can if you have a heat gun, that would work, but I'm not sure I want to add any more. It's crinkling up on its own. I don't want to add any more to it. I wonder if my little sand eraser that didn't work earlier would work on here. Well, see, it's working a lot better on here than it did on the others. Well, that's nice. It must just depend on what kind of paper I ended up letting it sit overnight. I did not expect to do that, but I just didn't get to it last night. Back to it last night. I did go ahead right after I had shut the video off. I decided to do the insides of the poinsettias, and I decided I didn't really feel like doing heat embossing, but now that I'm looking at it, I might end up doing that after all. But with these, I just did the centers of them. I'm not sure which stamp that's even from. I did, I think Sahara, no, I did a darker one for that. Soft suede, I believe. And it's still lightened up with it being on the tracing paper. But it dried off really nice. Letting it sit, it's not smudgy or anything. I'm thinking I might still do the heat embossing, but let's go ahead and get the verse written in there. The verse is we're gonna start with verse 21 of Matthew 1, and I'll write that in. I'll probably still go ahead and write in it with pencil first, and then I'll go over it with my Prisma, or my what are these things? Pigma micron pens. Got it all written out. It's been a while since I wrote on tracing paper, and it's just so smooth. Like how it just, like the pencil moved across there. It is a little darker than I would normally do for that as well, but I think it's just the way the pencil worked on the paper. It didn't quite fill up the bottom, but that's okay. I like it like that. I don't want to try to squeeze in the other verse in there either. So I'm thinking that what I might do is either leave it or put some more poinsettias. But let's see how it looks on the Bible where it's going, and maybe that'll just... Oh, it's pretty blank right there too. Maybe I'll put in another palm tree there and leave it kind of like that. because the Mary and Joseph are kind of hidden by the palm trees behind them. The shepherds are nicely poking out from behind the poinsettia, so I like that. I do still want to put a piece of washi here. Gold washi along the edge there. Oh, that was my other thought. Instead of heat embossing, I'm thinking about doing Wink of Stella on here. I think that would look nice too, and be easier. Well, not that heat embossing's not easy. It's pretty easy, actually. I was going more for it wouldn't wrinkle out my paper before I try to put it into my Bible. So, let me think about what I want to do in this section while we go ahead and go over this with my micron pens. And it was kind of thick, so I think I am going to go with a 1. It's a thicker one. It should cover all these. Maybe I want an 8 though. 0, 8, 1. Okay, so I got that written out, and I'm going to let it dry for a little while, because sometimes the Pigma micron pens smudge a little if you try to erase the pencil from behind it too soon, and then it might be even worse with it being on the tracing paper. So I'm going to let that sit for a while. And I know what I just decided as I was finishing up putting in the reference there for this Bible verse, what I'm going to do with this blank space here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my thinner pens, probably the 001 or the 005, and I think small lettering, I'm going to go ahead and do that other verse, but I'm going to do that here, and so that'll kind of come through some underneath there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'm going to just do that freehand directly with the pen. I'm not going to try to pre-write it with pencil since it's going to be on the smaller side. And I am going to put my hard paper back, my hardboard behind here again, just so that I kind of have some leverage there. And I'm going to try to prop up this side of my Bible a little bit too. Okay, so I went ahead and I threw in the 02 to write Emmanuel, and it just made me think while I was doing this, which is part of the Bible journaling thing. It's supposed to make you think while you're doing it, and working on it and really get something out of your Bible, not just to make it look pretty. But it made me think that both verses I picked talk about one of a name that they were going to call Jesus, and one being his like given name, so to speak, because like my name's Amanda, so everybody calls me Amanda, and Jesus was his name, so that would be his main name that he was called. But he had a lot more names that were associated with him, like Lord and Jesus Christ and Emmanuel, because that's in the next verse down there. So I made that a little bigger, and you can kind of see it through the tracing paper. So I really liked that, and it also made me think of, wow, look at how well that kind of fit right in there, and you can still see all of it. Huh. I love how things work out like that. It also made me think of one that I did last year, or yeah, I think it was Christmas last year, where I did all of his names, because I also made it the look for my husband's door for at work for his decorating. So this one I did last year, and this one goes through his names. Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. And there were other verses, because we recently read through some of these things at church, and there's even other names that he's called. This is about done. So let's go ahead and put some of our Wink of Stella on here, get this glued or taped into the Bible, and some washi on this side, and we're about done. Okay, so I think what I'm going to start with here is go ahead and put the washi on the side so that it's kind of flatter to work on doing that. And I want the gold washi here. And I'm only going to do it on the top side so that when I have the Bible open and the Matthew, it's showing So it's showing up on this side. Unless I find that I need it on both sides after I get it on, we'll see. I already curved the edges. I use my envelope punch board to do that. There used to be a rounded edge punch in the Stampin' Up! Catalog, but we don't carry that anymore. As far as I know, I'm pretty sure we don't carry that anymore, because that went out with the, Project Life stuff. Now we have Memories and More, and we don't have one to go with that right now. So it covers up a lot of that poinsettia, but I think I'm alright with that. I don't want to try to fold this in half. It's kind of difficult for this one. It's a thicker one that I got from Joann's. I'm pretty sure I got this at Joann's. Because this is one I've had before I got into Stampin' Up! Stuff. But I like how it looks anyway, even though it cuts a lot of that one off. I should have thought of that and made it over a little further, but then that would cover up my other verse, so we're good. And I think it's alright. I like it not doing that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take my small scissors here and just trim around so it's the same shape as where I trimmed with the punch board. Just get rid of those extra little pieces there. I'm excited about this. I really want to do a little bit more journaling than I have been. It feels like I haven't done a whole lot of it, and I really want to do some more. And I think doing these, I don't care how thick the Bible gets. If I end up putting a whole bunch of these in, I think I'm going to like that too, because then I can do a little bit bigger area than I'm getting with that. But I want to fill these in as well, so I'm just really wanting to get into doing some more of it than I have been. So there's what that'll look like there. We can still see most of the verse. The only thing cutting off is like the and a part of the which is okay. I was okay with that when I was writing it because I was thinking about that at the time. And now we're just going to go ahead and I think first, again, before I go taping it into my Bible, which I'm going to use tear and tape. So it comes out of the catalog and it looks like this. It's pretty sturdy stuff, and it's clear once you take the backing off. So I was thinking I'll put it in here, and then I can tear it off and put my thing in there, and it should hold it really well, because that's what's and it shouldn't show through a whole lot, and it's going to be in the crease of the Bible anyway, so that shouldn't matter too much, even if it does show some. I'm going to go ahead and try to take off some of this pencil markings, see if we waited long enough. I think I should probably put the tape on this part first and then put it into the Bible. So I'm gonna put and I'm taping it down so that it tapes down onto the side where I want it to lay when I have that section open. So like if with this one here, let me show you in a second. There we go. So we have our tape ready to go on there. So with this one, oh, I wrinkled my paper a little. Oh well. Okay, it's alright. So with this one, when I have it open, I want the tip in to lay that direction. So I'm gonna tape it down on that side so it kind of lays that direction. So when you do this, it's gonna kind of do a funky little like bubbly thing there. So you have to be careful with that when you go to close your Bible. But I think it'll mostly lay well. So let's take that off and try and get this in here as best as possible without wrinkling anything anymore. It should be pretty easy. Maybe we should do it this way. So I'm going to flip back and just tuck it in there as far as possible. I think that's pretty good. Pretty even there. That looks good. And then I'm just going to run my fingers over it to give it a good seal down. And once you close your Bible, it should definitely seal good too. You can even go from the back too if you want to. Here's one that I wrote in, but I haven't gotten to. Again, something I want to do, but this one was even a saying from camp, and that was back in August. The evangelist said, "Prayer is the hand that touches the heart of God." I really liked it, and I got it written in there, but I need to go ahead and journal that. Maybe with some of my new stamps I could do that with one of my projects there. But that, I think that is pretty cool. I'm so excited because now I have like a light background, and then I have a really cool like front page. I really like that. I'm gonna probably end up with a whole bunch of those in my Bible. Let's go ahead and put a little Wink of Stella on here for the middles. I'm just kind of throwing it on there, and it does bring up the red ink off of the page. So, and then I'll just let this sit open to dry for a while, and it probably will get some of the glitter off onto the opposite page once I do finally shut it. But I'm not worried about that. It is Christmassy, and I really like the Wink of Stella. Let me get some of this red off here. I really like Wink of Stella, and it just gives it a little extra glittery shine without being too over dramatic about it. So, there is our Bible journaling for Matthew 1:21 and 1:23. 2 pages, and so that's just the fun. I do feel a little about that being there. Otherwise, I think it turned out really well. And I couldn't get it off with my ink eraser, but oh well. There's a few other little minor mistakes here and there, but that's what you get when it's a one-time kind of a thing. You don't get that try it and then try it again kind of a thing when you're journaling in your Bible. But it's enjoyable. I really like it when I'm in church and I get to open up to one of these pages, and it just is, it's kind of soothing too. So I hope you enjoyed this Bible journaling video. Thanks for coming to create with me. If you need any of the Stampin' Up! Products, I'll try to link some of those in the blog post over at my website. It's www.homedesignsbyamanda.com, and you can shop from there in my online Stampin' Up! Store. And if you need a catalog or anything, you want to look through it, we do have a new one coming up here in January. Just let me know and I'll get one out to you. Alright, thanks for coming to create with me today. Hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye!